After returning home, I felt completely numb, like my soul had been hollowed out. One after another, the people around me were choosing to end their lives. It was pushing me to the brink of collapse. After hearing what I told him yesterday, Chen Yang must have gone to that stall. And yet, after coming back, he ended his life, just like Gu Xiaoli. Hanging himself beside the bathroom sink, no matter how I thought about it, it made no sense. In a situation like that, as long as there was even a shred of survival instinct, a person could still stand up and save themselves. So what exactly had Chen Yang experienced yesterday that made him so determined to die? And that message he sent, only to unsend it before his death. What did it say? I couldn't figure it out. All I could do was let the tears fall. The door clicked open. Joe. He had come home from work. I threw myself into his arms, sobbing uncontrollably. After I told him about Chen Yang's suicide, he said nothing, only comforted me quietly. When I finally calmed down, he asked casually, "Bei, before he died, did Chen Yang say anything to you?" "No, he didn't say anything. Maybe it was just my imagination. But after I said that, it felt like Joe." He let out a faint sigh of relief. I took a deep breath and looked at him. "Honey, I can't just let this go. Tomorrow I want to go back to that horror story stall." In that instant, Joe. His body stiffened. He lowered his head, staring straight into my eyes. "Bei, before she died, Xiaoli told you not to go. Are you really going to go against her last words?" Tears streamed down my face as I shook my head desperately. "I'll remember what she said, for the rest of my life. But I can't just let her and Chen Yang die like this, without knowing why. Don't try to stop me. Tomorrow, I have to go." Bang! The glass on the table shattered as Joe. He slammed it to the ground. "Wang Bei, you are not going." I froze, startled by his outburst. In all the years we had been together, this was the first time he had ever lost his temper with me. His eyes were fierce, his face cold. Nothing like the gentle man I knew. A sharp ache spread through my chest. I never imagined he would get this angry over something like this. Crying, I ran into the bedroom and collapsed onto the bed. Joe, he and I had been together for 10 years, from school uniforms to wedding vows. We had never argued, not even once. After graduating, he started his own business. His career soared, and at a young age, he had already achieved financial freedom. After we got married, he handed me all his cards telling me to quit my job, that he would take care of me from then on. All these years, he always came home on time. Even when he traveled, he told me everything. Our relationship had always been something others envied, but today, it was as if he had revealed another side of himself, one so unfamiliar. It made me afraid. I don't know how long passed before the bedroom door creaked open. "Joe." He walked over to me, his voice gentle again. "Bei, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to go because I'm worried about your safety. How about this? Tomorrow afternoon, I'll go with you." Warmth returned to my heart. So, he'd only reacted like that because he cared about me. Thinking that, I quickly got up and hugged him tightly. He patted my back softly. "Don't be afraid. I'm here." By accident, my eyes drifted toward the mirror. In its reflection, Joe He's face was still cold, not a trace of a smile. When I looked again, the coldness was gone, as if what I saw before had only been an illusion. At 3 p.m. the next day, after finishing a meeting at the company, Joe he came home, and we drove back to that stall. But the moment we arrived, I froze. The street was empty. All the small stalls had disappeared. Beside the road stood a sign. Due to street renovations, all stalls are temporarily closed. Operations will resume in 1 month. Jo-hee looked at the sign and sighed. Bay. Looks like we'll have to come back in a month. I stared at the sign, an uneasy feeling rising in my chest. Why now? Why not earlier? Or later? Why did it have to happen right when I decided to come back? Could there really be such a coincidence in this world? But there was nothing I could do. All I could do was wait. Still, I didn't go home with Jo-hee. I told him I wasn't in the mood and wanted to walk alone for a while. He couldn't persuade me otherwise, so he left first. I wandered alone down the quiet street. Memories of the times I had spent here with Gu Xiaoli surfaced, and my heart grew heavier with every step. I had known her just as long as I had known Jo-hee. Now that she was gone, I didn't know how I was supposed to go on. After walking for a while, 2 middle-aged women in market management uniforms approached. Their conversation caught my attention. Finally got all those stalls cleared out. I'm exhausted. Tell me about it. If that young man hadn't reported it this morning, we wouldn't have had to do all this extra work. My body suddenly went cold. A terrifying thought surged through my mind. I hurried up to them, trembling, and showed them a photo of Jo-hee on my phone. Excuse me. Was the person who reported it this morning? Him. One of them squinted at the screen for a moment, then nodded. I'm sure of it. That's him. The world spun before my eyes. I could barely stand. So Joe. He hadn't gone to a meeting this morning at all. To stop me from going back to that stall, he had reported the entire street. Why? Why would he do that? Why was he so desperate to keep me away? I was certain of one thing. It wasn't because he was afraid I'd hear the story and end up like Gu Xiaoli. The man I had shared a bed with for years. What exactly was he hiding from me? I clenched my teeth, silently swearing, no matter what, I would uncover the truth. Ma'am, may I ask, do you know the owner of that horror story stall? She shook her head. There are so many vendors here. How could I possibly know them all? That made sense. There were too many stalls on this street. Finding that man now would be like searching for a needle in a haystack. Just as despair began to creep in, she spoke again. You could try the Mingyuan complex nearby. The rent there is cheap and it's close. Most of them live there. My spirits lifted instantly. After thanking her, I rushed straight toward Mingyuan. It was only a 10-minute walk away. An old resettlement complex, dirty, run down. Filthy water pooled across the ground, and a strange, sour stench filled the air. Downstairs, carts and stall props were piled everywhere. I scanned the area anxiously, hoping to spot that horror story sign. But after circling the entire place, I still found nothing. Just as I was about to search again, the door beside me suddenly flew open. A hand clamped over my mouth and dragged me inside. The door slammed shut. And then, I saw it, that familiar black hood. I struggled free and shouted, "What did you tell my friends? Why did they kill themselves?" The hooded man said nothing. Slowly, he removed the hood. The moment I saw his face, it felt like I had been struck by lightning. A scream tore out of my throat. It was the face I hated most in this world. The one I never wanted to see again. The man standing before me, fleshy face, vicious eyes, was my high school classmate, Li Fang. He had always liked me, tried everything to pursue me. Even after I rejected him, he refused to give up, following me, stalking me, until it escalated into harassment. That night, when he tried to force himself on me, Gu Xiaoli caught him. She found Jo-hee. Zhou He beat Li Fang badly and saved me. That was when I began to fall for Zhou He, and eventually, we got together. With Zhou He protecting me, Li Fang slowly disappeared from my life. But I never expected, after all these years, he would return, like a ghost that refused to leave. I instinctively stepped back, pointing at him. Li Fang, what do you want? Did you kill Gu Xiaoli and Chen Yang? Li Fang looked at me anxiously, glancing nervously toward the window, as if something was chasing him. Wang Bei, listen to me. I don't mean you any harm. I just want to tell you. Stay away from Zhou He. He's not a good person. I let out a cold laugh, slowly backing toward the door. Li Fang, don't you find that ridiculous? The worst person here is you. His face flushed red. Think carefully. Do you really know Zhou He? I stared at him coldly, my eyes flicking toward the door, calculating my escape. I've been with Zhou He since high school. 4 years of university, 3 years after graduation, 10 years total. No one knows him better than I do. Li Fang clenched his teeth, fury burning in his eyes. If you've really been with him since high school, then name just one thing you did together back then. I was about to sneer, but suddenly froze. I shook my head, staring at him in disbelief. I couldn't remember. Not a single memory involving Zhou He from high school. My mind told me we had been young, innocent, happy. But when I tried to recall anything specific, there was nothing. It was like a beautiful shell, completely hollow inside, as if it would shatter at the slightest touch. Seeing my expression, Li Fang's eyes lit up. You see it now, don't you? I shook my head, forcing a rebuttal. That was too long ago. It's normal not to remember. I don't care what you're trying to do. If you think you can break me and my husband apart, you're wrong. Li Fang ran a hand through his hair, agitated. Fine. If high school is too far back, then tell me something from college. I sneered, disgusted. Sorry to disappoint you. In college, Zhou He and I did everything couples do. We traveled together, studied in the library, celebrated New Year's. Those are our happiest memories. I remember them clearly. Li Fang glanced nervously toward the window again. Then describe one of those memories, in detail. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. Something was wrong. I knew I had traveled with Zhou He, but I couldn't remember where we went. Plane or train? What we saw? Nothing. No matter how bad my memory was, it couldn't be this bad. Unlike my vague high school memories, my college years and everything after felt like a document with only titles. I could see the headings. I knew what they were about. But I couldn't read a single line inside. Wang Bei, think carefully. Isn't your relationship with Zhou He just a little too perfect? Li Fang's voice rang in my ears. Yes, our story was exactly like a perfect romance novel. From school uniforms to wedding vows, soulmates, never argued, never fought. The envy of everyone around us. Too perfect, like a flawless diamond. But the most perfect diamonds are often man-made. The moment that thought appeared, it terrified even me. Yet it rooted itself deep inside my mind, refusing to go away. Li Fang slowly raised his hands, showing he meant no harm, and stepped toward me. Bei, trust me. Zhou, his true face is nothing like what you see every day. As long as you leave him, you'll... Before he could finish, his face twisted in horror. He yanked the hood back on and ran toward the back of the room. At that exact moment, bang! The door behind me was kicked open. Zhou. He stood there, his face distorted, his eyes locked onto Li Fang's fleeing back. The killing intent in his gaze sent a chill straight down my spine.